When love turns toxic, some people spiral, but not Flame Princess. She learns to shine brighter, not wilder. And in a world that feels like it's getting faster and more hectic every year, we require her lessons now more than ever. The crux of Flame Princess's stoic transformation comes at the peak of what would, for most of us, be a redefining moment. When she's still young and relatively inexperienced, she has to break up with the one person she thought she loved, Finn. Before her breakup, she was wild, living life by letting emotions guide her and doing whatever she decided to. Flame King and PB even locked her up in a giant lantern in the Flame Kingdom for exactly that reason, and because she was dangerous. She was seen as totally evil and destructive, unable to keep her emotions in check. That nature comes out again when she's even mildly provoked, turning directly to violence without a second thought.
"'Cause you're hugging a log, you weirdo!"
All it takes is some mild heckling from Ice King and Flame Princess loses it. She goes after him, and you can see her lose control in real time.
Let me.
This isn't tactical behavior, and it's not something that needed to be done. We all know Ice King. He can be a jerk, but if you ignore him, he probably would have lost interest and been on his way, right? But Flame Princess lets her anger guide her, and attacks him instead, for nothing more than a joke that was in relatively bad taste.
Beating freaky old Trump.
Still, Flame Princess eventually manages to better herself from this volatile, emotional girl to a grown, stoic woman. But how? Everything changes when Finn betrays her trust, their relationship, and everything the two had built so far. Finn tries to make Ice King and Flame Princess fight again for his own entertainment, and when things go too far, he finally fesses up.
Ice King hasn't been picking fights with you, it's been me all along.
This isn't just a white lie or a disagreement. It's one of the most core, heartbreaking mistakes Finn could have ever made, and he did it without any true remorse. It's in this moment that we begin to see Flame Princess retreat to a less emotional level than you'd expect. It's not about suppressing her feelings, but she doesn't let them control her as much. When she asks him a question, her voice doesn't tremble, and she doesn't seem heartbroken. She probably is, but she also seeks the truth through her actions in a very straightforward way. Exactly as Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It's the truth I'm after, and the truth never harmed anyone. What harms us is to persist in self-deceit and ignorance." This is how she responds.
So, you wrote that letter?
But when Finn answers, he doesn't tell her the truth. At least not all of it. Sure, he fesses up to writing the letter, but he's justifying his actions, trying to explain away the why and the reason he did what he did. He tries to frame his betrayal of her as important, as something that was somehow acceptable, despite the fundamental betrayal of her trust. If anything, this makes the whole thing much worse.
But it was important because the cosmic owl was
If Finn had just accepted that what he'd done was wrong, had truly realized his mistake, maybe she could have continued with him and they'd work through it. But here's where she truly responds in an incredible manner. She doesn't shout, doesn't yell, and above all, she doesn't let Finn keep lying to her. She stops him from speaking, then distances herself from him. Again, mirroring Stoic philosopher Seneca, who said that we should withdraw into ourselves as far as we can, and that we should only associate with those who will make us a better person. Finn's actions don't make her a better person.
That letter said things in it that only you would know, and you used them against me. I thought you were the one person I need some time alone.
This setting of boundaries is a beautiful example of the beginnings of Stoicism. Like Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. And how Flame Princess reacts to Finn is a perfect example of this. A lot of us, faced with a core betrayal in a relationship or friendship that we thought we valued above all else, would definitely feel angry. We'd feel despair, sadness, and rage all at once. You might even lash out, trying to hurt those who hurt you, or maybe you'd stick around, try to convince yourself that that person will change and give them another chance. But Flame Princess doesn't do either of these things. She breaks up immediately with Finn. She moves on, trying to discipline her emotions and take some time alone to collect her thoughts.
Why do people even have secrets?
She still has feelings for him, and she was still hurt by him. But she's not overly emotional about it or illogical. Rather than letting her emotions dictate her boundaries, she sets her boundaries to keep her emotions in check and succeeds brilliantly. It goes all the way back to the very core idea behind the Stoic philosophy, and that's the idea that the only way of achieving true freedom is to accept that only some things are in control within your life. Every person has this sphere in which their action can affect outcomes, and a sphere in which their actions can't. These two spheres don't overlap, and if one of your problems lies within that second sphere, there's no point trying to change it or getting scared about it because it's not within your control. For Flame Princess, she can't change how Finn will behave, but she can change herself and her relationship with him, and she does this through giving it distance. She's not perfect, but Stoicism doesn't mean you have to be. She struggles with her emotions, especially because of how much she liked Finn and how deep her connection with him ran.
Why do I have to feel like this?
Though she struggles, she also realizes that she has to move on. Now that she's set her boundary, there's nothing she can further change about the situation, and so that relationship and that pain is all in the past. She even goes as far as to say this directly to Finn when he attempts to apologize again.
I was a big fat jerk.
Finn, it's okay. It's in the past now.
But just because it's in the past doesn't mean it's okay, or that she's going to let it happen again. Finn initially asks eagerly if they're still going out, but Flame Princess reaffirms her boundary with him.
So does that mean we're still going out?
No.
Flame Princess is the perfect symbolism from a show with so much of it because she's a symbol for emotional control. She's made from flames, and her flames are tied to her emotions. When she gets angry, she flares up, a fire out of control. So the fact that she can maintain this boundary while keeping calm is inspiring. But that doesn't mean that she's just solved her emotional issues overnight, right? As Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Flame Princess now knows what she wants to be, someone who's cool, collected, and capable of managing herself and her people without emotional slip-ups that would cause harm. Now all she has to do is achieve that by putting it into action. And to do this, she has to turn her beliefs from emotion to reason. Transforming yourself to think using logic over emotion can be a long, tedious path. For Flame Princess, this path took her from passion to the ability to be rational, self-aware, composed, and an incredible leader. Time has passed, and she's gone from an inexperienced young princess to a leader of a nation. And when the magma core of her nation starts to cool, she starts making decisions with ease.
I've gathered you here to figure out how to stop this. We need ideas, people.
But the only idea her advisors propose that might work is seeking out the help of the Candy Kingdom. And Flame Princess is not exactly a big fan of PB. If anything, she kind of despises Princess Bubblegum. But despite her emotion, she knows what has to be done for the good of her people. So she swallows her pride. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. And here, FP reacts in a manner deserving of a princess. Realizing she needs help and she can't solve this problem herself, she puts aside her differences and makes contact.
Hello, Bubblegum. Thank you for coming.
There's no reason for her to become friends with Bubblegum, at least not right now, but she's also honest and truthful about that fact. She doesn't try to hide it or manipulate Bubblegum into helping her.
Don't act like you're my friend, PB. You're here to help save my kingdom, not because I trust you.
It seems harsh at first, but what's the alternative? The relationship between PB and Flame Princess is fraught with past trauma and distrust, and Flame Princess deals in honesty. But when Flame Princess realizes that PB was behind the magma core cooling and was scheming to destroy all the fire giants that Flame Princess keeps hidden in her kingdom, she's proven right about PB. Still, after all this, she's honest. And this is what finally gets to Bubblegum.
It's because you are a bad person. Something inside you is messed up, girl.
Flame Princess doesn't hide her emotions, but she also doesn't let them control her. And this brutal, unfiltered truth gets to Bubblegum.
I'm not a bad person.
That's one of the most brilliant things about Stoicism. When you're able to set aside your emotions, use more reason and fairness when you're dealing with others, they can see it too. Just like Stoic Marcus Aurelius said, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. FP treats Bubblegum better than Bubblegum ever treated her, and acts moderate even after PB blew up the kingdom's fire giant army. And in the end, PB is the one who's forced to confront reason over emotion. But dealing with PB, as much as Flame Princess dislikes her, is one thing. What about having to confront the relationship that she already closed off and put that closure to the test? Even after years, our relationships can sting, right? So what happens when Flame Princess has to reconnect with a more mature version of Finn? When Flame Princess's kingdom is overthrown by her father, she turns to someone you wouldn't expect, Finn.
CB, take me to Finn.
As soon as she asks Finn for help, though, he shows that he clearly hasn't fully overcome the relationship and his lingering feelings for her. It's a situation that could be awkward for anyone. Reopening the wounds of the past is usually going to cause an emotional reaction, and for Finn, that reaction is one of longing.
I'll help you. I'll do anything for you.
But Flame Princess doesn't let it go any further. There's no question that speaking to Finn probably tempts her to rehash the past too, but she shuts it off before it can even begin. She makes it clear to Finn that their relationship is exactly that. It's in the past.
Listen, Finn, this doesn't mean we're getting back together. We're all business.
And even though the two get little time to connect as they're too busy rescuing her kingdom, she keeps her distance. Even Cinnamon Bun recognizes how far she's come from the fragile, angry, emotional teen she was those years ago.
Flame Princess may not be the most ruthless of all despots, but she is strong where it really counts, in her heart.
But reopening wounds is one thing. It's a whole other ordeal to have to deal with closure for the final time. There's no greater test than having to lay your relationship to rest, even after it's been over for years. And then you have to turn to the next page. We've seen Flame Princess first connect with Stoicism, and we've seen her grow through it, but in Bun Bun, we finally see the hard work and the true results of her philosophical and psychological transformation. When PB becomes convinced that Cinnamon Bun needs a candy friend since he's all alone in the Fire Kingdom, she builds Bun Bun and sends Finn himself to make the delivery. And when Finn arrives, she greets him like a friend.
Finn? What brings you here?
With a smile and a slight laugh, she's happy to see him. Whatever reservations or boundaries that she set in the past are actually likely still there, but she's moved on from that past trauma and knows how to greet him like a friend. Her emotional restraint and control give her power, and it gives her the clarity to realize that she values Finn, though not romantically, but for his friendship.
You don't have to just run off like that. We can hang out if you got time.
As much as we'd probably like to, a lot of us have issues being genuine friends with our exes. After all, that's an awkward situation to be in, because most of us don't have the closure to deal with that sort of situation in a more healthy way. We still have lingering hopes, lingering hatred, even a tiny bit of fear and shame. So for Flame Princess to genuinely want to hang out with Finn, not just because of the past, but because she values his friendship, it shows she's truly found closure. But closure, as Stoicism paints it, isn't complete. It's not life without mistakes, but it is life without regrets. If something can be changed, there's no reason to regret it because you can change it. And if it's already happened or is out of your control and is unchangeable, there's no reason to dwell on it in the first place.
You've grown up a lot, man. I forgive you.
Awesome.
Flame Princess doesn't struggle with this because she's not trying to live in the past, and she doesn't think she needs Finn's past actions to change. The present-day Finn is her friend, and that's enough. His past mistakes have already been made, and she's made her decisions about them, so there's no reason for her to harbor negative feelings about those actions and towards him. The conversation they have isn't one of two people burdened by their past mistakes and actions. It's two people, two friends, fully living in the present.
What else you been up to?
I started freestyle rapping.
What?
Maybe this is just how she acts around Finn, right? After all, if she did still harbor feelings for him, this could all be some ploy to try to get back together. But that's not it, because she treats everyone this way. Even when Flame Princess is given what should be horrible news, that her evil father escaped his prison, she's willing to reconsider his past. When she hears that he's become the new Chipmunk King in true Adventure Time style, she's open to it. You go, King. Her past with her father is filled with more trauma than her relationship with Finn, and even more than her distrust of PB, but that doesn't stop her for more than a second.
No, he always did like animals. I wonder if a new environment might help bring out that softer side of him.
You might think she's being unrealistic here, but it's not that. A quote from Seneca perfectly sums up Flame Princess and her philosophy at the end of Bun Bun. What's the good of dragging up sufferings which are over, of being unhappy now just because you were then? The suffering is over. The time for closure has begun, and she sees potential for her father to find closure too. So she gives him a chance.
Let's leave him be.
Stoicism isn't about cold detachment from the world. Some people think it is, but they're wrong. Stoicism is about turning down your emotions' control over you and finally understanding and enacting your will. What do we really want? If you're human, you probably want to be happy, and Stoicism shows the actionable path to achieve that. Flame Princess is the happiest when she's let go of the past, and her will is most clear when she doesn't let her emotions cloud her judgment. She's a fiery spirit, and Adventure Time portrays her that way, but it also shows that the more clear and calm she behaves, the stronger and more powerful flame she becomes. The strongest fire isn't one that lashes out and burns everything around them, but the steady one that endures and heats the hearts around them regardless of the cruel winds that blow against it. And just like her relationship with Finn, Flame Princess treats her entire life, her friends, and all of her past mistakes in the most stoic way possible, and it pays off. But if you'd like a deeper dive into why Finn ever drove FP away in the first place, check out our video on the hero who couldn't save himself. It's got an even bigger lesson in it that you might not expect.